Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here. Today we have a different type of video on the channel because a lot of people were wondering what are my top 10 favorite Pokemon. Now I thought this would be a really fun video, so I figured I'd answer it in a video itself, obviously. Now this list is comprised of Pokemon that are on there because I either love them and value them in competitive Pokemon, or I liked how they were in the anime, or I just think they're freaking cool. That's it. That's basically what this list comprises of. So if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure you let me know by leaving a like. Also, feel free to let me know your top 10 favorite Pokemon down below. I know that's a lot to ask, but I feel like, and I had to think a lot when I was making this list, but I feel like it's a pretty cool one, and I want to see if all the different ones. It'd be sick if we could get one of every single Pokemon, right? Like a Noah's Ark of Pokemon down below in the comment section. And also, if you are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. I'm on my way to 300k. That is my end of the year goal. I upload 2 to 3 Pokemon videos a day. A lot of competitive Pokemon, moveset video guides, Wi-Fi battles, shuttle lives. Obviously, Legends Arceus is coming around the corner too, so I'll be uploading things with that. I even have a Best Buy affiliate link if you want to support me and buy that. But without further ado, let's get into my first Pokemon on the list. So number 1, well 10. The first Pokemon on the list is Onix. I love Onix. I used to watch Brock travel with Ash all the time and Misty, right? And Onix was so cool. It was this giant Pokemon. It was sick, right? I always thought it was so strong, and then when I got into competitive Pokemon, or even not even just got into competitive Pokemon, when you play the games and you look at Onix's stats, its defense is incredible, right? But its attack is so weak. I'm pretty sure Pidgey is stronger, and it's a damn shame, but nonetheless, Onix is such a cool Pokemon, and the amount of times it was used in the anime, I just thought that it's this rock snake. I think snakes are really cool. By the way, I absolutely love snakes, and just Onix is just, it fits that criteria of super cool Pokemon that I wish, at least in competitive, was a lot better. But I feel like it's hard to deny that Onix wasn't a cool Pokemon, especially, you know, in Gen 1 of the anime, the original anime, how sick it was going around. Now, number 2 on the list is actually Murkrow. Now, Murkrow, or number 9 on the list, whatever. Who cares, okay? I'm going in order, but you know who my number 1 is. But Murkrow is another sick Pokemon. I think it's really cool, little pimp hat over there. I actually liked it a lot because of Little Cup, and I always thought it was sick how this bird Pokemon was a baby, how it had like Brave Bird and Sucker Punch, and Prankster was really cool, being able to do little things with Thunder Wave. And I just thought that Murkrow was just this cool little Pokemon. I even have to use an intro back in the day on my channel, which I can't play right now because of copyright, that had Lose Yourself by Eminem, and like a Murkrow just going crazy from the anime itself. I started my channel like, what? in 2010, so I mean, yeah, I was heavy into Eminem back then. But yeah, this Murkrow's ability to go both special and physical, and obviously it evolves into Honchkrow as well, which I think is pretty cool. But I think Murkrow in itself is just such a cool mom with a little hat, and I love the dark flying type, and it's such a sick Pokemon. It was so fast. I even used to try and get away with using it in like higher tiers as well when it came to this Pokemon. Speaking of baby Pokemon that I thought were sick, Stunky. I know, Stunky's like, why the hell do you like Stunky? Let me tell you why I like Stunky. Because of Explosion. Now, Stunky came out in Gen 4, for those that didn't know, and Stunky was able to be used in Gen 4 Little Cup. That is basically a tier where you use baby Pokemon and they're level 5. Now, just let me think about baby Pokemon, level 5, and think about one of them just exploding, okay? Explosion is 250 base power, and back then it halved your defenses when you used it as well, so it was effectively like 500 base power. So this level 5 little skunk was able to explode and just murk everything. I absolutely loved it. I always thought Sucker Punch was such a cool move too, which is why I also like Murkrow as well. And I just loved murking, no pun intended, but I loved murking other people in Little Cup with Explosion Stunky. I just thought it was such a cool mon. I also am a fan of skunks as well. I don't like their smell, but I am a fan of skunks itself. Now, Shaman is the next Pokemon on my list. Now, part of the reason I like Shaman is mainly because of competitive Pokemon. This Pokemon was so cool with Leech Seed Protect sets, and I also loved its ability to beat Pokemon like Blissey, which is something that a special attacker doesn't usually, well, that's not usually able to do it, right? Obviously now we have Psyshock and we have things like that can allow special attackers to break through Blissey, but for the most part, people weren't able to break through Blissey with special attackers back then. But in comes Shaman. Shaman goes for Seed Flare. Now, I'm talking about Shaman in regular form, not even Sky form. Shaman goes for Seed Flare, having a 40% chance to drop Blissy's special defense. And it was beautiful going for Life Orb or Spec Seed Flare as Blissey comes in, takes like 30% plus Stealth Rock, and then your next one does even more just because you get that special defense drop. I also loved its ability to beat Pokemon, besides Blissey that it couldn't, with Leech Seed and Protect. I used to EV this Pokemon to be incredibly bulky, to be able to take on hits from the likes of Dragonite, from even Latias back in the day, and before it was banned, if I'm not mistaken, and also just being able to just sponge up hits from Starmie and stuff. It was just such a cool Pokemon with Seed Flare, Protect, Leech Seed, and Hidden Power Fire was my favorite set, and I've even beaten Infernape back in the day just because I was physically defensive and Flare Blitz wouldn't kill me. So I have a lot of love for Shaman because of competitive Pokemon, and I think it's just a cute Pokemon too. Now, Cryogonal is another one, like, what the hell? Why do you like this Snowflake? Again, a lot of this has to do with competitive Pokemon. Cryogonal was one of my favorite Pokemon to use in Gen 5 NU. Now, Gen 5 NU is this random tier where a Pokemon like Gorobis was a threat. Okay, in Gen 5 NU, Gorobis could Shell Smash and it could Sweep. And part of the reason I like Cryogonal is because Cryogonal had the ability to... well, it was Gen 5 NU on PO, by the way, for those that didn't know. I don't believe there was actually a Gen 5 NU. I don't see it anywhere on Showdown. Oh, here it is. It was Gen 5 NU on PO. And Cryogonal was this Pokemon that could stop Shell Smash Gorobis from sweeping. And the way you beat it, it didn't even have Freeze Dry back then, right? It was just because it was special defensive. It could easily live a +2 Surf or Hydro Pump or Life Orb, whatever. And I could go for Haze. And by going for Haze, I get rid of their boost. And I'd be able to beat them with Toxic, plus Recover, plus Ice Beam, and just 1v1 it. And this thing was such a cool Pokemon because it would even take on the likes of like Charizard's fire moves if it really needed to. And it was fast. It was so fast too, base 105. So I absolutely loved Cryogonal just because it basically was a staple on my teams. It gave me a Rabbit Spinner. And if you guys didn't know, Gen 5 NU is one of my favorite tiers as well. I got number 2 on Showdown. It's where on Pokemon Online. It was a tier where me and my buddy Dangerous 36M, aka Rick, used to compete in a lot and just ladder in and just completely top the ladder every single time. I felt like you could use anything in that tier and get it to work, and I loved it. I think it was a beautiful tier back in the day, at least on Pokemon Online. And just Cryogonal's ability to do this with even just a limited move pool made it so sick. And I just, the Snowflake was just fire, man. Like, it obviously it's ice, but the Snowflake was so good. Now, next up we have Whitney's Miltank. Now, I say specifically Whitney's Miltank because I like Miltank as a Pokemon, don't get me wrong, but Whitney's Miltank is definitely in my top 10. First off, I always admired the fact that it was so annoying to beat and it was so strong, right? I admire power, right? It was like, oh, wow, this thing just beat me 4 times in a row. I like that. Now, granted, I was a kid when I played Gold and Silver back in the day, but I still thought that rollout was sick, and even just watching it in the anime, it using rollout around was cool. I think the way Ash beat it was like making trenches or something in the fields in order to make like Miltank not be able to roll out. It was interesting, but I always loved how fast this Pokemon was, how defensive it was. Even my boy Xenon 3120 used to use Miltank. It was like this defensive ultra set. I love that it has its own signature move, or it had its own, it used to be a signature move, but it had Milk Drink to recover. I love that it could Heal Bell, that it could hit Ghost types with Scrappy if it really wanted to, that it has immunity to Grass types if it really wanted to with Sap Sipper, and that Thick Fat let it beat Ice and Fire types, and you could even Curse and Sweep with it too. And like, I really love the Curse Scrappy set with Curse, Body Slam, Milk Drink, and Heal Bell, and it just couldn't be stopped by Ghost types. It's just this ability to annoy the hell out of your opponent. Plus, it could Thunder Wave as well, and it was an all-around annoying Pokemon. And I really I like Whitney, right? Like, Whitney is my favorite Pokemon character, so her Miltank really just stuck with me all throughout like my life, ever since I played her and ever since she beat me, and that's why it's definitely on my list of top 10. Now, I might be basic for this, but Charizard is number 4 on my list. Again, I started Pokemon when Pokemon first came out in the US, right? I was a little kid. I was 3.5, turning 4, and I watched Pokemon when it came out. I remember the SSN episode. I remember when Ash first got Charmander, and Charmander, you know, he found it like abandoned, and I loved it. And then Charmander evolved to Charmeleon, and then Charmeleon didn't obey Ash because I guess it was supposed to represent, like, you know, a teenager, how, you know, as a kid, you love your parents and things like that. And then as a teenager, they pick you up at school or whatever. I'm just talking from like experience. You get like embarrassed, like, oh, go away, blah, 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 blah. And then you start getting angry and stuff like that. I don't know if anybody relates with what the hell I was talking about. And then as it evolved into an adult, I guess eventually you work it out with them or whatever. But Charizard is such a cool Pokemon. Always thought it would be sick if it was a dragon. And then it finally became a dragon with Mega Evolution. I actually collect Charizard Pokemon cards too. Expensive hobby, but I collected a lot of them before it was actually an expensive hobby. So I have a lot of PSA 10 Charizards. And I just love the Pokemon card. I think it's such a fierce Pokemon. I know people are like, oh man, Charizard's overrated. Meanwhile, I'm over here hoping that we get a new form every single time we get a new generation. I'm the problem. I'm the problem. But I love Charizard. I love that it's consistently buffed, whether it be forms with Mega Evolution or Gigantamaxes, or that its moveset just gets buffed, right? Like it got Hurricane, it got Scorching Sand, it got Mystical Fire, Heavy Duty Boots, obviously. That was specifically for Charizard. They didn't care about singles. That was specifically for Charizard. And I just love this mod. I love it so much, and I love how strong it is on Sun Team as well. It's really fun using a random Blast Burn with this Pokemon too. So number 3 on the list is Latias. Now, Pokemon Heroes is my favorite Pokemon movie. It is. I always thought it was so cool how, first off, I want to go to Venice, right? I'm half Italian, I'm half Puerto Rican, but I'm half Italian, and I love Venice. I actually was going on a trip before, you know, pre-COVID. Didn't get my money back, by the way, for the tickets. They better still give me credit, but I'm actually mad about that. But Latias and Latios I thought were so cool. Again, it made me fall in love with, well, that was obviously Venice, right? Like that was Venice, but they didn't say it was Venice. Did they say it was Venice? And I just thought it was so sick how it was like a transporter Pokemon. Dragons and water types are my favorite Pokemon, right? Like Dragon Water is my favorite typing. Not to say that Dracovish, Palkia, and Kingdra are my favorite Pokemon. They're not. They're not even on this list. But I love dragons. I love water types. I loved what Latias can do in competitive as well. If it wants to run Choice Specs or Choice Scarf, it can still be a powerhouse or it can still be a revenge killer. I love that you can run really bulky sets. I like that it can have, you know, different stored power things if it really wants to. I was happy when they buffed it and gave it Aura Sphere and Mystical Fire, so it could beat things like Heatran and Tyranitar and Scizor, which I thought was pretty cool as well. That would have been extremely broken back in Gen 4. And just its ability to just tank hits and check most of the meta is, I respect that a lot about Lati. And again, I just thought the Pokemon Heroes was a cool like movie. I liked it a lot, and that's why I really like Latias a lot. Now, I actually do wish though that they gave the Megas at least different colors before being shiny. Like I think the Megas shouldn't look similar. I understand the reasoning behind it, but I don't think they should look similar. I think it was a little bit lazy personally. But yeah, I love Latias. Now, number 2 on the list is actually Latios, because I love to drop a Draco with Latios. Going for Draco Meteor with Latios, there's something special about that 130 base special attack, having a Choice Specs on Latios, and seeing Steel types fall over, right? Like, this Pokemon is so strong. If Latias I like for how bulky it is and its different sets, Latios I respect just for the raw power of this Pokemon. This is the undisputed, in my opinion, most broken Pokemon in 5th Gen, right? Obviously, it's not a 5th Gen Pokemon. I know it came out in Gen 3. I'm just talking about where it's currently allowed, because it's not allowed in Gen 4. It's not allowed in Gen 3. But Gen 5, this mon is broken. These Pokemon, these dragons, are the reason why we have fairy types, right? And even then, Latios is still strong, because it has moves like Psychic and Psyshock. It can break through Blissey and Clefable. Again, it got Mystical Fire and Aura Sphere, so that Tyranitar and Scizor can't do it. It even got buffed because there's no more Pursuit in the game either. The only reason this mon isn't even top of the top in Generation 8 is because Ghost types do the exact same thing, and Dragapult happens to be Dragon and Ghost, right? But Latios would be definitely there if Dragapult was ever bad. I respect its power so much. Blue is, I would say it's like my 2nd or 3rd favorite color. My favorite color is gray. I know that's weird, but gray is my favorite color. But blue is definitely up there as well. I love the power. I just thought the Lati twins were so cool. And again, that movie just really, really made me respect Latios a lot, and you know, being part dragon. Draco Meteor is my favorite move, right? Draco Meteor and Scald are my favorite moves. So my favorite move has to be for one of my favorite mons. I just love it, and I think when people think of like drop a Draco or Draco Meteor or anything, this mon just, they think of me as well. Obviously, I had merch with this Pokemon too. My number 1 favorite Pokemon though is Suicune. This is my favorite Pokemon of all time. The pure water type. I always thought it was so elegant. I love the way that it could run over water and purify it. I always thought that this mon's ability to sweep, like I played a lot of Gen 3 and a lot of well, Gen 2 as well, but a lot of Gen 2, Gen 3 and Gen 4, and the things this thing could do with a Calm Mind was absolutely insane. Obviously, you fast forward, and this thing is still annoying with Calm Mind, Protect, Substitute, Scald. They buffed it by giving it Scald, so it could actually burn things and beat a 1v1, and Pressure can be so annoying. I watched someone called L2K Famine, which was someone from a clan that I was in back in, Pokemon clan, something we were in back in the day, and they were in L2K. I was in MD, and I saw what they would do with this Suicune. They would simply set up and they would just beat people 1v1 with Surf. It would tank every hit. It would always sleep talk the right moves. And I feel like Suicune's just like, it's a legendary beast, legendary dog, whatever you want to call it. It's just that trusty dog. It's that Pokemon that I always have in my back pocket. I don't use it a lot in competitive Pokemon simply because I know for others it would be a little bit boring to watch me pressure stall people all the time. But just know that in Gen 4 specifically, I was a semi-stall player. Right? That was my stall slash semi-stall, one of my favorite things. And I had no greater joy than watching people fold to Suicune. I remember people would lead off with Machamp and try and punch Suicune in the face. All I do is take all the dynamic punches and rest them up. They'd only have 4 of them due to pressure. I beat it 1v1. Like the amount of Pokemon I beat with this. And then you can run like HP Electric sets for Gyarados and Ice Beam sets for Dragons. Just, I love this Pokemon so much. It's so strong. It's majestic. I was a little bit excited when it got Sheer Cold, which I thought was pretty cool too. I think Sheer Cold is a really awesome thing. I do wish it still got Water Absorb instead of Inner Focus as its hidden ability, because they changed it from Water Absorb to Inner Focus. But still, I think it's a really majestic Pokemon. I think a lot of people do not like fighting this Pokemon. This is a Pokemon where you see it on your opponent's side, and you're like, oh my god, I gotta deal with Suicune, right? Whether it be a Rest Talk defensive set, or a Sub Calm Mind Protect set, just being able to stall you out. It's just that Pokemon that just, it keeps you on your toes, and I really respect that about Suicune. That's why that's my favorite Pokemon. So, thank you everyone for watching. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Let me know your favorite Pokemon down below. I know some of the reasons are like, yo bro, what are you saying? You tripping. But, still, my favorite mon of all time, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see other things like this of me. Like, I mean, obviously I can't make another top 10 favorite mons list, but I have done competitive lists before of like the best Pokemon I see. I saw somebody suggest that I should make my own viability list for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, but I'm always down to do other videos like this as well. So thank you everyone for watching. Hope you guys all enjoyed. I will see you guys next time.